God, I want to believe so hard.
Well, I hope you do, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff.
Well, I want to know what you've seen though. So you've seen this piece of metal. What else have you seen?
I've seen many documents on the studies of these things, and I've seen a lot of the science associated with what the technology is and what it does. Like, I could show you, if I fold up pieces of paper and stuff, what's going on with it. But basically, these craft, they travel in a straight line, but they're folding space-time.
Like in Event Horizon, where they explain it by folding a piece of paper and punching a pencil through it. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Great fucking movie.
But it's more like, here, I can draw it for you here. Not that this is it's kind of like when you have 2 points, we're used to traveling in a direction like that. Mm-hmm. And so when we look up, we see a plane that goes straight.
Right.
But these UFOs fold space-time like this. And so it looks like, to them, they're going in a straight line. So if you're in the ship, you see that. Mm-hmm. But if you're on the ground, you see that.
Oh, okay.
That's why you see them blink off and on. A lot of those videos, they're on, it looks like they're jumping. It's just because of this. So they're folding space-time.
Some way of interfacing with space itself that's very different than our idea of traveling in a linear way from point A to point B.
Space, the fabric, they call it the fabric of space-time because it's like a fabric. It's malleable.
Now, let me ask you this. How often into a conversation do people look at you and think you are fucking crazy when you start talking about this? And how long
all the time, yeah.
All the time, right? But do you ever get to the point where you're like, I don't want to talk about this?
No, because I always tell people, you don't know what I know. And there's a lot.
No. I mean, like, do you ever get to the point where you're like, I can't do this anymore? Like,
no.
People think I'm fucking crazy.
No, because I'm involved on the most important shit I've ever been in my life.
So you think this is like the most important thing that you've ever done in your life?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I have meetings with senators coming up. Like,
do you?
Oh, fuck yeah.
What senators?
I can't tell you.
Damn, it's all this I can't tell you stuff.
I know, because this is some fucking tricky shit.
When is all this going to come out? Like, it seems like this is like eminent rather disclosure type shit.
Watch what my company does. That's what I'll say.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love when someone is like that.
Yeah.
Like your friend that hasn't talked for 22 years. I love shit like that.
Yeah, you don't hear about that.
No.
Or someone that'll stop being in Van Halen to go fuck with swords.
Or Tom.
To go fuck with aliens.
Yeah, goes fucks with aliens.
Yeah.
Do you think they're really bringing him to the Pentagon and shit like that?
I don't know.
Because he said
I have no clue. And I had watched a little bit of your podcast where you were like,
you sent me a text message.
Well, why are they picking you? And I'm like, but I feel like he's made himself readily available to do that shit,
Right.
I don't know. I sit and scratch my head and go, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just fucking, he's such a talented dude too, man. He's like such a good songwriter.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's certainly a very talented guy. It's just so interesting that that's his main point of focus.
Yeah.
I would think that if aliens were real, Trump would have told us. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
That guy he's such a fucking loose cannon. He became the president. Like, maybe they hid it from him.
Or as fucking chaotic as shit is right now, it would I don't know, something would slip,
I would think that if they told him, if they brought him, there's two things I would want to know. Who killed JFK? Those are two things I'd want to know if I became the president. And are aliens real? What do you got, motherfucker?
Yeah.
What do you got? I go to the top generals. I bet, look, I'm going to defer to you guys. I'm not a military expert, okay? And I don't want war, but I want you guys to have support. I got full respect. Tell me about the aliens. What do you got? What's this? Trump orders establishment of Space Force.
He did that.
That's right, the Space Force.
Yeah.
But that's because that's actually a military strategy because they're concerned that as technology improves, Russians are going to be in space and we're going to be in space. Or fight off the aliens.
Yeah.
Right, like Will Smith type shit. Yeah, look at him. Yeah, Mike Pence is behind him going, Jesus is going to save us. Yeah, I don't know, man, but if I became president, I never will, but if I did, those are the two things that I'd want to know. Who killed JFK and where are the fucking aliens? Like, I got home from the Comedy Store at like 2, and then I watched some goofy, I've been on this UFO documentary kick.
Watching UFO documentaries?
Yeah, I told you it was David. I started talking about it.
Yeah,
but
we were talking about that.
yeah.
What were you? Did you have something specific that you saw recently?
Yeah,
the documentary.
2 of them. One of them is Area 51, Bob Lazar, and Area 51 and flying saucers. It's a documentary on this guy who claimed that he worked on these alien ships in Area 51 in the 1980s.
That gave me chills.
As time's gone on, more of the things that he said have proven to actually be true.
Like what?
Including an element that he talked about, element 115, I think it was called.
Like an organism from outer space?
No, an element, like a man-created element, like there's carbon.
Right.
There's an element that they created that he talked about way before it was ever publicized. And he talked about this thing, and then it turned out to be true. He talked about these, there's these hand monitors that you would put your hand on this thing, and these metal lines would detect the distances in the bones of your fingers, the exact distances, and everyone is different. It's like a signature thing. And that they could find out if it was you or not you that was trying to go through. So the way they would scan people, the bioscan, would literally measure the bones in their fingers. And people said that was horseshit.
Wild.
He talked about this in the 1980s. People said it was horseshit, but then later on turned out, no, they did have that in Los Alamos. They did have that in Area 51, and that this technology was very, very
advanced.
Not just very advanced, but it was not well known at all. Like very few people did. And this guy who was creator of this documentary, it was very difficult for them to get photos of this hand scanner. But this hand scanner did exist and existed exactly as this guy described it.
In the 80s, I mean, that's super progressive for that time.
There's also
even
people
for now.
that did approve his top secret clearance to get to this place. They know that he actually worked there. There's people that worked in the same Los Alamos lab with him. They tried to say he never worked there, but his name's on the manifest. It's very strange. It's like they've tried to erase parts of this guy's past because he filmed a bunch of their crafts as they were flying around. Like he knew what days. This is the thing. That thing right there, you put your hand on that, and it actually measures the distance of the size and length of your bones.
That looks like something that's inside of an escape room in L.A.
It does. It's hilarious. It's so true. But
Doesn't it?
I went into this documentary skeptical.
As you should.
Yeah, but I'm so done with all those things. But listen to this guy talk for a while. After a while, I was like, what if he's telling the truth? Like, what if he is actually telling the truth? Because if he's actually telling the truth, there is some part of the government that had access, at least in the 1980s, to alien technology. It's so unbelievably compelling, though, to consider the idea that somewhere out there, there's another civilization that may be even more advanced than us. And this thought of it is just so attractive. It's incredible.
There should be, if civilizations are common, or even slightly common, then there should be civilizations ahead of us.
Yes.
Because there's been so much time.
But wouldn't you want to see what that's like?
Yeah, I mean, we've been
so
around,
compelling.
You imagine the timescales. We've been around as a civilization. Let's give it, say, 40,000 years. I don't know how long our civilization has been around. Let's say that. The galaxy is pretty much as old as the universe. It's 13 billion years worth of time. So the idea that there are no civilizations arose, 100 million years ago, 200 million years ago, 1 billion years ago. And imagine what they'd be like if they'd survived. I mean, we've been around, we've had science for, let's say, since Newton or Copernicus, 500 years at most. And look what we've done. We've gone beyond the solar system with Voyager. We've walked on the moon. We're about to go to Mars, I would think. So we're about to begin colonizing our own solar system. So we've done that in 500 years. So imagine a million years in the future. So it's one of the arguments often used to say there aren't any civilizations out there in the galaxy. It's called the Fermi paradox. Because if you imagine a civilization that's a million years ahead of us, they should have written their presence across the sky by now. You should see them. I mean, you'll see us. If we survive a million years into the future, actually even a few thousand years into the future, we will be exploring the galaxy. We will have spacecraft that are going to other stars. We will be doing it. So our signature will become visible, I'm sure, if we last into the medium term.
Would we choose to not do that. Here's my thought on that: is uncontacted tribes. Like, do you know about the gentleman who was the missionary who visited North Sentinel Island?
Yeah.
Who was killed by the natives. North Sentinel Island, which is a really unusual place because they branched off from Africa 60,000 years ago, and they've been living on this one small island the size of Manhattan. And as well as we know, there's only about 39 of them left, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to contact them. Like, people are not supposed. We're supposed to like leave them alone, and they're a rare tribe. When they find them in the Amazon, the uncontacted tribes, our initial instinct is back off,
Yeah.
leave them alone, leave them alone. Do you think that perhaps the universe, like if there is a civilization that's 1,000,000 times more advanced than us and been around here for millions of years of life as opposed to 250,000, why would they let us know? Like, would they look at us dropping bombs on each other and polluting the ocean and sucking all the fish out and putting clouds into the skies of dirt and particles? And why would they look at these crude monkeys? Look at that. They're so far beyond where they need to be before they could join the galactic civilization network or whatever.
It is true. It's an argument that there is an argument as well that technology is so advanced would be difficult for us to detect. I mean, we tend to think of, when you say written across the sky, I suppose it's true. I'm thinking of starships and things like Star Wars, right? Big energy things that you can see the signature of. But actually, it may be that the civilization just becomes a nano civilization, tiny little nanobot, because that's more efficient. It's a better way to do things. So it's possible, I suppose, that there are space probes all over the place that are so small and are so efficient and use so little energy that we just don't see them. I suppose that is possible.
There's a theory that is actually being tossed about that these people that have this they have this memory of childbirth, right? So all of a sudden you're being born, there's bright lights above you, there's a man or a woman who's the surgeon with a mask that covers their face, so all you see is their eyes. And everything looks bright and it's terrifying and clinical, and you're on this table and everything's cold. Most of these alien abduction experiences that people recount, they take place in some sort of a medical facility
setting.
And everything is bright and strange and cold, and they think that what this is they're saying that we had this idea that children don't have memories, that babies don't have memories. And so they're saying, well, why wouldn't they have memories? That's ridiculous. Of course they have memories. They have brains. They grab your finger, they look you in the eye. They would have a memory of every second that they were born. And it's probably one of the most profound and disturbing memories, because before that, everything is incredibly peaceful. You're inside the mother's womb.
Then you're just like taken out.
And then you're pulled out, and then there's this bright light above you. You never experience any light. So and your visual perception, your field of view is all distorted, right? This is the first time you're using your eyes. That's why people have the same...
So it's like tapping into this memory, this early memory. That's interesting.
This is a theory. It makes sense to me, because if you think about...
Makes more sense than the abduction.
Well, it does, because people don't really go anywhere. See, the thing about the abduction thing is they put like cameras in people's rooms, and they say they have these alien abduction experiences, but they don't go anywhere. So what they're doing is they're dreaming.
I
mean, which is
the
normal.
mind is amazing and it's so powerful, and we know so little still.
So also like all these. I mean, it's kind of duh, because they all happen while you're sleeping. Like 90
and you're
plus
right,
percent.
They tend to be medical.
It's very medical in nature, right? You're being examined. And then there's also, going back to childbirth, there's also a lot of people that have these experiences that they are being told that either they're taking their baby away from them, or they're studying their baby, or that they had a baby inside of them that they didn't know about, and that the aliens have put it there and they're taking it out. Yeah, I mean, it even goes back to the virgin birth, right? I mean, it's all very weird. But this memory that people have from childhood is most likely, probably a pretty intense, powerful memory that's always there.
Yeah, and
your
affecting
first memory.
Yeah, and some people can tap into it, and some people can't.
Yeah,
clearly.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainline historical books about
mainstream.
SS castles
Mainstream.
where they go, the aliens want blood, so they'd kill like 20 kids and everything. So the aliens would like come in.
What? Aliens are eating blood?
They brings them in like sharks. And then they would
Blood
like give them
does?
technology. They go, this is how it works. You build the atomic weapons this way. You build, and they would like show them bombers, and like the aliens are like telepathic. I don't even believe this. This is what the Nazis believe. And the aliens would mind meld and give them the technology. They're bad aliens.
So
are you surprised the Nazis were influenced by demons?
No, if demons are real, I would definitely think they'd be on the side of the Nazis.
Yeah.
But Joe, what I'm telling you is
think aliens
there'll
are
be
demons?
no media is going to attack this. I'm giving
I
you.
want to know where I can read it. Where can I read that? Those statements that they were in contact with the aliens.
Well, obviously your podcast
Look
is
up
giant. I got a huge-
Nazi Vril Society, VRIL
If you let
Society.
me put
He
a
had a
report-
group of chicks,
I tell you what,
witches,
aliens? That's
that were, like,
aliens?
right up there with them, like doing
And I don't have to come over
rituals.
for 3 hours. If I can fly here with a report a day
Okay.
before, I'll send it all to you with mainline books. I'll mail the books with tabs in them.
Okay.
And I'll mail documents.
Okay, cool. Yeah, listen. I think that they absolutely were obsessed with the occult. That's been pretty well documented.
They made flying
yeah,
saucers.
and I think
Hey, did
got
you
me,
talk
Steven
about that?
Spielberg.
Did you talk about that alien craft that came into our
What happened? What are you
into
talking
our
about?
galaxy?
It did.
The one with the Hawaiian name.
Oh, so it's over.
You didn't hear about that one?
The one that looks like a joint.
Yeah, it looks or a big piece of poo.
Yeah, that's just a rock.
The big
right?
duty copter.
It's just a weird rock. I think.
No, they said that some like legit people said that it changed speed and went in different directions.
Oh,
and
legit people.
Legit people.
Oh.
Scientists
Oh, them guys.
said that it was. It could be something.
Could be.
What does Neil deGrasse say about it?
He's not talking right now.
Hey, yeah, he's in a little bit of a kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. What's this, Jamie? This thing right here. Harvard scientists say aliens
of
may
miles
explain
away.
bizarre interstellar object. Yeah, I saw that, and then I saw someone refuting that they
Harvard
would.
scientists. Harvard.
Nobody wants to believe more than me, bro.
Come on, Joe. It's real.
Well, if I was going to mask my spaceship to fly through the galaxy, I would definitely make it look like a big rock.
yeah, like a big
Yeah.
asteroid
Right. Why wouldn't you?
driving through space.
Maybe if they were like, look, if we just make this thing drive by them and don't change speeds, they'll have no idea. Just think we're an
Right.
asteroid, and they'll be psyched that we missed them. Like, yeah, good call.
And the
But
guy's
then
like,
someone
"Left turn!"
Someone just hits the gas. I'm tired. I don't want it. It's fucking taking too long.
What'd
Like,
you
he
do,
just
Dave?
decides,
What?
Dude, you got it. The fucking cops are behind us, Dave. Shit.
God damn it, Dave. You're not supposed to just take
I
off.
told you. 65, you fuck. Let's start throwing this weed out the window.
Why would it be so hard to believe? A space rock traveling through space.
That would be the move, right? I mean, if they're so advanced that they can travel through galaxies, they can make the shit look like anything they want it to.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you doll it up? Do you know of there's a very famous painting that shows what appears to be men in crafts flying through the sky in the background of an ancient painting? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I actually have a page. One of the first pages I ever put on my website is like a bunch of these, because throughout history there are these indications of ships, of craft.
But
Like-
you know what the one I'm talking
Yes.
about? It's like, and
Yes.
that's the shape of it. It's also like a plate turned on its side, and then there's a person inside
Yes.
of it.
Yeah, man. It's
And it's
exciting.
flying through in that same. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, look
Yeah,
look
it's
how
incredible.
it's flying.
But you know, the thing is that everybody can say art. The one above that's pretty cool because that was a hidden thing. I've studied that one where it says Discovery 15th century. Above her left shoulder, there is an object, and if you really zoom in, look at the dude staring up at it. As a painter, my wife is a painter. Everything is intentional.
Which guy, where's the guy? The guy on the
Yeah,
on
right
the
over there.
corner.
It's pretty
Right.
cool.
Looking up.
So I think that's 15th century. It said. So the problem with this, Joe, is
Go to the original one, the one that we just looked at, Jamie. The one right before that. Yeah. See, get a big picture of that.
Yeah.
That is so strange. Like
Yeah,
here
man.
you got Christ being crucified, and then above him UFOs. Like, and is that supposed to be aliens or is that supposed to be angels? Like,
So-
what is that supposed to be in these things that they have? It's real similar to what we're talking about here.
That's the argument of Miracle of Fatima, let's say. I mean, again, this is so speculative. We have a witness here, pilot, but when you see something like the Miracle of Fatima, if you look at
What
that,
is the miracle of Fatima?
God, that's that one that was, considered a real miracle by the church, and the 3 kids were getting messages. I'll get this all wrong, but for like months that they're going to be visited and to bring people, and bigger groups gathered to where there was over 100,000 people.
What year is this?
1917.
1917. So, dozens of thousands, if not hundreds, but dozens for sure, see an event. A mass sighting of something that happened. We're talking people that were religious, people that weren't religious, doctors at the time.
That's not a real image, is it, Jamie?
That one was doctored a little bit, so you could see they're all looking at something.
But that's not real.
Yeah,
but that's the crowd, right? The crowd is real. Is that right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. People come out, something happened that was so intense. Some people thought it was religious, that it was a visitation, but other people saw it as technological, like something descended. Look into it. I'm just saying, art, pictures, like paintings we're talking about, man, you can interpret them all day. I can't hold on to that. I can hold on to an eyewitness with other eyewitnesses, with radar systems, and with video. We're in a different era now. We don't have to paint it, man. We get to see it. It's fascinating, man.
It is fascinating, but it's way more fascinating when someone like you talks about it versus some fucking random kook. That's what makes me incredibly interested, is your credibility and the fact that this is not, you don't have a history of seeing wacky shit that other people don't see.
No, just this once.
But it's on video, and that there's other ones as well. It's really strange. And I've seen people try to explain it away, and what I don't like about when they explain it away or attempt to explain it away is that they're trying really hard. They're not going, who knows what this fucking thing is? They're not looking at it like cleanly. They're looking at it like a quote-unquote skeptic. I don't like the idea of being a skeptic. Not that I don't think you should be skeptical of certain things. I certainly think you should be, but there's a lot of people that brand themselves as skeptics. And I think it's a lazy way to look at things. I really do. Because I think you're just looking for the holes in things without looking at it objectively. If you wanted to be a scientist, if you wanted to be someone who is a fan of science, then you have to look at it as a thing. Like, look at this information and let's study this without any bias, any preconceived notions. I don't think they're doing that. They're looking at it and they're trying to find a way where they can justify that it's fake. And they're just doing all sorts of mental gymnastics to try to make it fake. That video that you show where that thing slips off to the left and takes off at incredible rates of speed, that alone should freak people the fuck out.
Yeah, well, I think because people confuse all the time, like we took the video. No, it was another crew that took the video. We watched it for 5 minutes with our eyeballs, and there was 4 of us. And we all have the same story. We all saw the same stuff. We all came back and looked at each other and scratched our head and said, WTF, serious? What was that?